This audiobook unveils the Metaphysical Code, the ancient blueprint of existence that shapes your reality. As you listen, you'll uncover the timeless truth. Your thoughts are keys to unlocking the universe's secrets. Step into your role as a conscious creator and let the mysteries of life reveal themselves to you. The Metaphysical Code. Introduction. In the vast tapestry of existence, a metaphysical code weaves through every moment, every breath, and every thought. This code, as ancient as time itself, orchestrates the dance of creation, binding together the seen and unseen realms in perfect harmony. You stand now at the threshold of understanding, preparing to pierce the veil that separates ordinary perception from extraordinary truth. The universe speaks in whispers of energy, in currents of intention, and in waves of consciousness. These hidden secrets have guided the wise throughout ages, leading them to manifest their deepest desires and greatest achievements. This knowledge does not belong to any single tradition or time. It transcends all boundaries, waiting patiently for those ready to embrace its power. Within you resides an innate ability to decode these cosmic patterns. Your thoughts, like keys turning in ancient locks, hold the power to unlock doorways to unlimited potential. Every belief you hold shapes the fabric of your reality. Every emotion you experience sends ripples through the quantum field of infinite possibilities. The masters of old understood this truth, that consciousness itself is the foundation of all creation. They recognize that the physical world mirrors the inner landscape of thought and feeling, responding to the subtle frequencies of human awareness. This wisdom, preserved through millennia, now beckons you forward. As you begin this sacred journey, know that you are not merely learning new concepts, you are remembering what your soul has always known. The metaphysical blueprint of reality has been waiting for your recognition, for your awakening to its presence. Like a forgotten language coming back to life, these universal principles will resonate within the depths of your being. The power to shape your destiny lies not in some distant force, but in your conscious connection to this eternal code. Through understanding and applying these timeless laws, you become more than an observer of life. You emerge as a conscious creator, aligned with the very forces that govern existence. Part 1. Unveiling the Mysteries of the Universe. Chapter 1. The Whisper of the Universe. In the ancient lands where wisdom first took root, there lived a humble shepherd who tended his flock beneath the vast canvas of stars. Each night, as the celestial lights painted stories across the heavens, he would guide his sheep to safe pastures, following paths worn smooth by generations before him. One evening, as the moon cast silver shadows across the sleeping earth, the shepherd perceived something different in the night air. A subtle vibration, a gentle pulling at the edges of his awareness. At first, he dismissed it as the whisper of wind through grass, yet the sensation persisted, growing stronger with each passing moment. The universe speaks not in thunderous proclamations, but in the language of gentle persistence. Just as the shepherd discovered that night, its voice reaches through the veil of ordinary existence, touching those who maintain an open heart and quiet mind. As he followed this ethereal call, stepping away from his familiar route, the shepherd found himself drawn to an ancient olive grove he had passed countless times before. There, beneath the gnarled branches of a centuries-old tree, lay a spring of crystal-clear water, one that had remained hidden despite his years of traversing these lands. This truth extends beyond mere storytelling. It reflects the fundamental nature of universal guidance. The metaphysical code manifests through synchronicities, through moments of inexplicable knowing, through patterns that emerge when you still your mind enough to perceive them. Consider now the tale of the learned traveler who journeyed across distant lands in search of wisdom. Despite encountering numerous signs, a recurring number sequence, chance meetings with strangers who spoke exactly what he needed to hear, and dreams that pointed toward a specific direction, he remained steadfast in his logical dismissal of such coincidences. Time and again, his chosen path led to closed doors and missed opportunities. Only when his carefully laid plans crumbled did he finally pause long enough to notice the pattern of guidance that had been present all along. In surrendering his need to control every aspect of his journey, he discovered that the universe had been orchestrating a far grander adventure than he could have planned. Find a quiet moment as the day draws to a close. Light a single candle, and in its gentle glow, open your journal to a fresh page. Allow your mind to drift back through recent days, noting instances where the universe may have spoken through, repeated symbols or numbers, unexpected encounters, dreams that lingered in your consciousness, sudden intuitive thoughts, coincidences that felt meaningful. Record these occurrences without judgment, then close your eyes and breathe deeply. As you exhale, ask the universe to reveal the deeper meaning behind these signs. Write whatever insights arise, knowing that understanding often unfolds gradually like the petals of a flower opening to morning light. Chapter 2. The Blueprint Beneath Reality. In the sacred valleys of an ancient land, a sage dwelt in a simple dwelling among towering trees. One morning, a student approached, burning with questions about the nature of existence. The sage motioned for the young seeker to sit beneath the shade of an ancient oak. "You see this mighty tree," the sage began, his voice carrying the weight of ages. "Yet what sustains its grandeur remains hidden beneath the earth. Just as these invisible roots follow an intricate pattern that gives life to what we see above, so too does an unseen blueprint govern all of creation." The sage guided the student's hand to touch the soil. Feel the life force that flows through these hidden pathways. Every branch above mirrors a root below, following an ancient design that cannot be altered, only understood. This wisdom echoes through the ages. The visible world rests upon invisible foundations. Your reality, in all its manifestations, grows from seeds planted in the soil of universal law. These laws weave through existence like golden threads, binding together every moment, every circumstance, every possibility. Just as a tree cannot defy the laws of nature and grow without roots, your experiences cannot manifest contrary to these cosmic principles. Each thought you hold, each emotion you nurture, must align with this divine architecture to bear fruit. In a distant village lived a carpenter who prided himself on his independence. When commissioned to build a grand house, he refused to consult the architect's plans, claiming his experience would guide him. "Plans constrain creativity," he would say, laying stones according to his whims. As the structure rose, problems emerged. Walls stood crooked, floors sloped precariously, and windows admitted rain rather than light. The building, like any creation that ignores fundamental principles, began to crumble before completion. The universal mind has provided a sacred practice to align your being with these eternal laws. Sit in stillness as twilight approaches. Close your eyes and envision your life as a magnificent structure. See its foundation, walls, and roof. Notice where the lines run true and where they bend away from perfect alignment. Feel where the structure stands strong and where it wavers. Now imagine golden light flowing from above, illuminating the blueprint of universal law. Watch as this light reveals the adjustments needed for perfect harmony. Speak these words with quiet authority. I align myself with the perfect pattern of creation. As I honor these universal laws, my life reflects divine order in all things. Maintain this vision until you feel the shift, the subtle realignment of your being with the cosmic blueprint that governs all existence. Chapter 3. The Veil of Awareness. In the mists of time there lived a child whose world was shrouded in perpetual fog. Each morning she would venture forth, hands outstretched, feeling her way through the dense gray veil that surrounded her. Though beauty and wonder existed mere inches from her fingertips, she remained unaware of their presence, seeing only the swirling clouds that limited her vision. You, like this child, walk through life surrounded by infinite possibilities that remain hidden behind the fog of limited awareness. Yet the universe holds a sacred truth. When you expand your consciousness, even the faintest ray of light can part the heaviest mists. One day, as the child sat in quiet contemplation, a single shaft of sunlight pierced through the fog. In that moment, her world transformed. Colors she had never known existed painted the landscape before her. Flowers bloomed in brilliant hues, trees stretched majestically toward the sky, and butterflies danced on gentle breezes. The fog had not truly hidden these wonders. Her limited awareness had simply prevented her from perceiving them. This truth lies at the heart of existence. Awareness is the light that reveals what has always been present. As you awaken to higher consciousness, the fog of illusion dissolves, revealing the abundant nature of reality. Every moment holds infinite potential, waiting to be discovered by those who learn to see beyond the veil. In a bustling marketplace, a wealthy merchant lived consumed by the pursuit of gold. His eyes saw only ledgers and coins, blind to the rich tapestry of human connection that surrounded him. Each day, he would pass by his fellow traders without a glance, focused solely on increasing his fortune, until one day illness confined him to his bed. As he lay there, weak and alone, it was not his gold that brought him comfort, but the kindness of those he had overlooked. The baker's fresh bread, the flower seller's daily bouquet, the gentle words of the textile merchant. These simple gifts opened his eyes to a different kind of wealth. To unlock your own awareness of life's hidden treasures, practice this ancient technique. Find a quiet space and settle into a comfortable position. Allow your breath to flow naturally as you bring your attention to the present moment. Notice the subtle sensations, the touch of air on your skin, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the sounds that reach your ears. As thoughts arise, observe them without attachment, like watching clouds pass across the sky. Gradually expand your awareness beyond physical sensations. Feel the energy that pulses through your body. Sense the space between objects. Notice the gaps between thoughts. In these spaces, wisdom whispers its secrets to those who learn to listen. Chapter 4. The First Key. In the ancient hills where artisans have worked since time immemorial, a potter sat before his wheel. His hands, weathered by years of dedication, moved with purposeful grace as they shaped the formless clay. With each touch, each gentle press, the vessel emerged not just from his fingers, but from the vision he held within his mind. You possess this same creative power. Your thoughts, like the potter's hands, shape the raw material of existence into the reality you experience. The universe responds to the patterns of your mind with the same certainty that clay yields to skilled hands. As the potter works, his mind remains fixed upon the final form. He sees not the shapeless mass before him, but the elegant vessel it will become. This unwavering vision guides every movement, every subtle adjustment. When doubt creeps in, the clay wavers. When his thoughts align with clarity, the vessel takes perfect form. The law of thought reveals itself in every moment of creation. Your mind sends ripples through the fabric of existence, attracting circumstances that match its frequency. Like the potter's wheel, life spins continuously, responding to the thoughts you impress upon it. In distant fields, a farmer tended 2 plots of land. The first he nurtured with care, visiting daily to remove weeds, envisioning bountiful crops rising from the soil. The second he neglected, allowing doubts and worries to cloud his mind whenever he passed. As the seasons turned, the first plot flourished with abundant harvest, while the second yielded meager results. Your mind is this fertile field, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant within it. Every moment of focus, every sustained vision, takes root in the soil of possibility. The harvest of your life reflects the quality of thoughts you cultivate. To harness this creative force, practice this timeless technique. Find solitude where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your mind to settle. Now bring forth the image of your desired outcome with crystal clarity. See it in vivid detail, its colors, textures, and forms. Feel the emotions of its realization as if it exists in this present moment. Hold this vision steady, like the potter holds his image of the finished vessel. When your mind wanders, gently return to the vision. Maintain this focused imagery for several minutes, knowing that your thoughts are shaping the very substance of reality. Chapter 5: The Frequency of Emotion. In a hamlet tucked between time-worn peaks lived a musician whose melodies seemed ordinary until a wandering sage shared a truth that would transform his art. Night after night, the musician had played the same notes with technical perfection, yet his music failed to stir the souls of those who listened. "The secret," the sage whispered, "lies not in your fingers but in the chambers of your heart. Each emotion carries a vibration that resonates with the very fabric of existence. You, like this musician, hold within yourself the power to attune to the universe's frequencies. Your emotions are not merely feelings. They are energetic signatures that ripple through the quantum field, drawing to you experiences that match their vibration." The musician began to play not from memory, but from the depths of his joy. As his emotions soared, his music transcended mere notes, touching something primordial in all who heard it. The universe itself seemed to dance with his melodies, bringing forth opportunities and blessings that had remained hidden when his heart was closed. These emotional frequencies form the foundation of manifestation. Joy, love, gratitude, and peace resonate at the highest vibrations, aligning you with the creative force of the universe. Fear, anger, and despair create discordant frequencies that block the flow of abundance. In the valley below the village lived 2 gardeners, tending neighboring plots. The first gardener worked with a heart full of joy, singing as she planted her seeds and blessing each tender shoot with love. The second toiled in bitterness, his thoughts heavy with resentment about the difficult soil and changing weather. As the seasons turned, the first garden burst with life, flowers blooming out of season and vegetables growing to extraordinary size. The second garden, though given the same sun and rain, produced sparse, withered plants. The soil itself seemed to respond to the gardener's emotional energies. To align yourself with the highest frequencies of creation, practice this ancient technique of emotional attunement. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Recall a moment of pure joy, perhaps a time when your heart overflowed with love or gratitude. Allow yourself to step fully into this memory. Feel the warmth of that emotion spreading through your body. Notice how your energy shifts as you relive this experience. Let the vibration of joy fill every cell, knowing that this frequency is attracting similar energies from the universe. Maintain this state for several minutes, anchoring yourself in these higher vibrations. Chapter 6. Belief. In the ancient city of white stone towers, there lived an architect whose ambitions reached toward the heavens. Each morning, he would unfold his plans for a magnificent tower that would touch the clouds, yet each attempt to build it ended in ruins. The stones would crack, the beams would bend, and his dreams would crumble before his eyes. You too may recognize this pattern in your life, grand visions that seem to falter despite your best efforts. Like the architect, you may be overlooking the most crucial element of creation, the foundation of belief upon which all manifestation must rest. The universe operates through an immutable system of laws, and chief among them is this truth: your beliefs form the bedrock of your reality. They are not mere thoughts or casual opinions, but the very framework through which you filter all experience and possibility. The architect consulted master builders and studied advanced techniques, yet still his tower fell. Until one night, in meditation, he heard the whisper of universal wisdom. Your belief in failure is stronger than your belief in success. This revelation transformed his understanding. He saw how his doubt had seeped into every calculation, how his fear of collapse had manifested in every stone. When he rebuilt his belief framework first, accepting his divine right to create and succeed, his tower finally rose strong and true. In the realm of ancient mariners, there lived a sailor who refused to learn the language of the stars. Maps and compasses are enough, he would say, dismissing the celestial wisdom his fellow seafarers relied upon. Yet when a great storm destroyed his instruments and darkened the sun, he found himself adrift in endless waters. As despair threatened to overwhelm him, he remembered the teachings of an old navigator. The stars are not mere lights in the sky. They are eternal guides for those who believe in their power. In that moment of surrender, the clouds parted, revealing the constellation his heart had always known how to read. To transform your own framework of belief, practice this time-honored technique. Take a moment now to write down one limiting belief that has held you back. Examine its structure, feeling how it has shaped your experiences. Now, consciously craft its opposite, an empowering affirmation that aligns with the universal truth of your unlimited potential. For example, if you wrote, "I never have enough," transform it to, "I am always provided for abundantly." Speak this new truth with conviction, knowing that as you shift your beliefs, you reshape the very foundation of your reality. Chapter 7. The Laws That Bind the Universe. In the heart of an endless desert where golden dunes stretched toward infinity, a group of merchants found themselves wandering without direction. Their water supplies dwindled, and hope began to fade like footprints in shifting sands. As night fell, they encountered a mystic sitting in perfect peace beneath the star-filled sky. "You are not lost," the mystic spoke, his eyes reflecting the celestial light above. "The stars are the eternal compass of the universe, and they speak the language of universal law. Just as these travelers discovered their path through celestial guidance, you too are governed by the eternal laws that orchestrate existence. The law of attraction draws to you that which matches your inner state. The law of cause and effect ensures that every action creates a corresponding reaction. The law of vibration reveals that everything in existence moves at specific frequencies, attracting similar energies. The mystic taught the travelers to read these cosmic signposts. Under his guidance, they learned that just as stars follow fixed paths across the heavens, success follows those who align with universal principles. Their journey transformed from one of desperate wandering to purposeful navigation. In another time, two adventurers set out to cross the same desert. The first, filled with pride, ignored the natural rhythms of the land. He traveled during the scorching heat of day, refused to follow the ancient waterways, and dismissed the wisdom of local guides. His journey ended in tragedy. The second adventurer moved in harmony with the desert's laws. She traveled at dawn and dusk, followed the paths carved by centuries of wind and water, and heeded the desert's subtle messages. The very forces that defeated her companion became her allies, guiding her to an oasis of abundance. These universal laws are not mere suggestions. They are the fundamental principles through which all creation manifests. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with these laws, you unlock the hidden pathways to your desires. To begin working with these cosmic principles, choose one universal law to practice mindfully over the next 7 days. Notice how it operates in your daily life. If you select the law of attraction, observe how your predominant thoughts manifest in your experiences. If you choose the law of cause and effect, watch how each action creates ripples of consequence. Document your observations, noting patterns and insights that emerge. Through this practice, you will develop an intimate understanding of how these eternal principles shape your reality. Chapter 8. Symbols of the Infinite. In a valley nestled between ancient mountains, a young apprentice followed her master through the morning mist. The master paused beside a stream, gesturing to the water flowing endlessly toward distant shores. "Watch how the water moves," the master said. "It adapts to every stone, fills every hollow, yet never loses its essential nature." This is the first key to understanding the language of the universe. As you walk this earthly path, the symbols of divine wisdom surround you. They speak in a tongue older than words, carrying messages encoded in the very fabric of creation. The rising sun speaks of renewal and infinite potential. The steady flame reveals the transformative power of spirit. The river shows the way of effortless action and perfect timing. These are not mere poetic metaphors, but living keys to understanding the metaphysical code that governs all existence. When you learn to read these symbols, you discover that the universe constantly communicates through them, offering guidance and revelation. The master led her apprentice through the seasons, teaching her to see beyond surface appearances. In the spiral of a shell, she recognized the pattern of growth. In the phases of the moon, she witnessed the rhythm of cycles. In the oak growing from an acorn, she understood the law of potential made manifest. Far away in another time, a wanderer lost his way in a dense forest. Exhausted and disoriented, he came upon an ancient stone bearing a simple rune. Though he had never studied such markings, something deep within him resonated with its meaning. The symbol spoke of protection and guidance, and as he contemplated it, clarity dawned in his mind. Following the intuitive understanding sparked by this ancient sign, he found his way to safety. The symbols that guide you may appear as patterns in nature, as signs in dreams, or as recurring images in your daily life. Each carries a message uniquely meant for your understanding, waiting to be decoded by your awakening consciousness. To begin working with these eternal symbols, spend time in quiet observation of the natural world. Notice which elements repeatedly draw your attention. Perhaps you find yourself mesmerized by the dance of leaves in the wind or the way sunlight patterns shift throughout the day. Record these observations in a journal, reflecting on what these symbols might be revealing about your own journey. Allow their deeper significance to unfold naturally in your awareness, trusting that the wisdom they contain will reveal itself in perfect timing. Chapter 9. The Art of Release. In a distant land, there lived a bird of rare beauty, its feathers shimmering with colors that caught the morning light. Each day it beat its wings against the golden bars of its cage, exhausting itself in futile resistance. The more it struggled, the more entangled it became in its own desperate attempts at freedom. Through your life flows the same divine current that moves the stars across the night sky. When you resist this flow, you create turbulence in the stream of infinite possibilities. Like the caged bird, your struggles against what is only served to bind you more tightly to your limitations. The bird's transformation began when it ceased its battle with the bars. In that moment of surrender, it discovered something remarkable. The cage door had always been open, but its frantic movements had kept it from seeing this truth. As it relaxed into stillness, the gentle breeze called it forward, and with one effortless movement, it soared into the waiting sky. Along a winding river, two fishermen cast their nets into the rushing waters. The first fought against the current, attempting to force his way to the spots he believed held the most fish. Hour after hour, he struggled, yet his nets remained empty. The second fisherman observed the river's natural flow, allowing it to guide his boat. He discovered that by surrendering to the water's wisdom, it carried him precisely where the fish gathered in abundance. When you release your grip on how things should be, you open yourself to the infinite wisdom of the universe. This surrender is not defeat. It is the ultimate form of trust in the divine order of all things. Like the second fisherman, you discover that what you seek often comes not through force, but through flowing with the natural current of life. The art of letting go requires deep trust in the unseen hand that guides all things. It asks you to release your attachments to outcomes, to surrender your need for control, and to allow the universe to work through you rather than against you. To begin this practice of sacred surrender, identify one area in your life where you feel resistance. Perhaps it is a relationship that isn't unfolding as you planned, or a goal that seems to elude your grasp despite your best efforts. Create a personal mantra of surrender such as, "I release and trust." Repeat this mantra whenever you feel the urge to force or control situations. Let each repetition be a gentle reminder that the universe's plan often exceeds what your limited perspective can envision. Chapter 10. The Gateway to Mystical Wonder. In the heart of an ancient city stood a forgotten garden, its walls draped in emerald vines. Here, a young child wandered, untouched by the world's cynicism. While others passed the weathered stones without a glance, the child's eyes sparkled with possibility. You possess this same innate wisdom, the understanding that every moment holds the potential for discovery. The universe speaks most clearly to those who maintain the pure wonder of a child's heart. Behind a curtain of morning glory vines, the child's fingers traced an unusual pattern in the stone. As wonder overtook caution, a gentle push revealed a hidden door. Beyond lay not mere garden paths, but a realm where flowers sang with the wind and butterflies painted the air with liquid gold. The child had discovered what countless adults had overlooked, simply by remaining open to magic. The metaphysical code reveals itself in layers, each one accessible only to those who approach life with genuine curiosity. Like the hidden garden door, these gateways to deeper understanding wait patiently for eyes willing to see them. A scholar once devoted his life to studying ancient texts, memorizing every word yet missing their essence. He filled his mind with knowledge but sealed his heart against mystery. In contrast, a simple seeker walked the same paths with open wonder. Where the scholar saw only crumbling ruins, the seeker discovered living wisdom in every stone. Through embracing uncertainty and cultivating curiosity, the seeker found treasures that remained forever hidden from the scholar's rigid mind. To unlock the next layer of universal truth, you must nurture your sense of wonder. Each question you dare to ask creates ripples in the fabric of reality, drawing forth answers from the infinite. Your curiosity serves as a key, opening doors to understanding that logic alone cannot reach. Take your journal now and write down the questions that stir your soul. What mysteries call to you in quiet moments? What possibilities spark your imagination? Choose one of these questions and commit to exploring it not as a problem to solve, but as a door to walk through. Let your wonder guide you into new realms of understanding. Part 2. Unlocking the Layers of the Code. Chapter 11. The Symphony of Vibrations. In a mountain village where mist clings to ancient stone, a blind harpist sits beneath gnarled olive trees. His fingers hover over the strings, not seeking to play, but to listen. The wind whispers through the valley, carrying secrets from distant lands, and the harpist attunes his instrument to match these ethereal frequencies. You too are an instrument of the universe, capable of resonating with the highest vibrations of existence. Like the harpist who transcended physical sight to perceive deeper harmonies, you can attune yourself to frequencies beyond the material realm. The universe speaks in the language of vibration. Every thought, emotion, and action emanates a specific frequency. When you align with higher vibrations, you naturally attract experiences that match this elevated state. Just as the blind harpist's melodies drew listeners from miles around, your heightened frequency draws forth opportunities and insights previously hidden from view. Consider how a crystal glass resonates with a specific musical note, while remaining silent to others. Similarly, you resonate most strongly with energies that match your vibrational state. Through conscious choice, you can elevate your frequency to harmonize with the highest possibilities life offers. In a distant quarry, two sculptors worked side by side. The first used tools worn dull by neglect, struggling against unyielding stone. The second maintained her tools with care, keeping them perfectly resonant. Where the first sculptor fought and strained, the second's chisels sang through marble as if it were silk. The stone itself seemed to yield to her harmonious touch, revealing forms of breathtaking beauty. Like these tools, your thoughts and emotions are instruments that either struggle against life's challenges or flow in harmony with universal forces. When you maintain a high vibrational state through gratitude, joy, and positive expectation, life responds with grace and ease. To elevate your personal frequency, practice this vibrational attunement exercise. Set aside 5 minutes daily to immerse yourself in activities and thoughts that naturally raise your energy. Express heartfelt gratitude for life's blessings. Recall moments of pure joy. Engage in activities that spark inspiration. Feel these high-frequency emotions filling every cell of your being, lifting you into alignment with universal harmony. Chapter 12, The Second Key. In the misty highlands where ancient wisdom still echoes through stone circles, a falconer stood with a young bird perched upon his weathered glove. The creature's wild heart beat against its chest, yearning for freedom, yet something deeper stirred within, a recognition of purpose yet unfulfilled. Through your own journey of awakening, you have discovered that, like this untamed bird, raw energy without direction merely disperses into the winds. The universe responds not to scattered wishes, but to the focused beam of pure intent. The falconer raised his arm, and in that moment of release, his unwavering intent guided the bird's flight. Not through force or control, but through the invisible thread of focused purpose that connected them. This is the way of universal law. Energy flows where attention goes, but only intent transforms that flow into manifestation. As the great masters taught, intent acts as the lens through which universal energy is focused into form. When you hold a clear vision of your desired outcome, infused with unwavering purpose, you create a pathway through which the infinite possibilities of the universe can crystallize into reality. In a coastal village, two lighthouse keepers maintained their beacons through storm and calm. The first approached his duty with occasional attention, allowing his light to dim and flicker. Ships passing in the night found themselves lost in treacherous waters. The second keeper, understanding the power of sustained intent, maintained his beacon with unwavering focus. Night after night, his steady light cut through the darkness, guiding countless vessels safely to harbor. Like these lighthouse keepers, your intent either wavers in the winds of distraction or stands as an unwavering beacon of purpose. When you maintain clear, focused intent, you become a lighthouse for your own manifestations, drawing them safely through the seas of possibility into the harbor of reality. To harness this power of focused intent, take up your journal each morning. Write down one clear, specific intention you wish to manifest. Let your words be precise, your vision sharp. Each day, return to this written intention. See it not just with your eyes, but with the inner sight of unwavering purpose. Feel it not as a distant possibility, but as a reality already taking form through the power of your focused intent. Chapter 13. The Alchemy of Gratitude. In a humble village among rolling hills, a peasant tended his meager plot of land. Each morning, he counted his misfortunes, the smallness of his field, the roughness of his tools, the hardness of his life, until one dawn, when a wandering monk paused at his gate. The monk carried nothing but a wooden bowl, yet his face shone with contentment. "I see abundance where you perceive lack," the monk said, gesturing to the morning dew glistening on grass blades. Each drop reflects the infinite generosity of the universe. Through this truth, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, you now understand that gratitude acts as an alchemical force. Like a key turning in a lock, genuine appreciation opens the doorway through which greater blessings flow. When you give thanks for what exists in your life, you align with the frequency of abundance, drawing more reasons for gratitude toward you. In the fertile valley below the mountain peaks, two farmers faced a season of drought. The first farmer cursed the cloudless sky, his bitter thoughts casting shadows over his withering crops. Each day, he focused on what was missing, and each day his fields seemed to shrink further into dust. The second farmer rose before dawn, giving thanks for the precious dew that moistened his soil. He expressed gratitude for the strong roots of his plants, the knowledge passed down from his ancestors, and the opportunity each new day brought. As weeks passed, his crops, though challenged, showed remarkable resilience. The morning dew he had blessed seemed to sustain his fields just enough until the rains finally returned. What appeared as mere droplets to one farmer became life-giving moisture to the other. This truth reveals how gratitude transforms not just your perception, but the very substance of your reality. When you choose to appreciate what is present, rather than lamenting what is absent, you tap into the universal flow of abundance. Take up your journal as the sun rises each morning. In its pages, inscribe 3 blessings that grace your life. Let your heart fill with genuine appreciation as you write each one, feeling how this practice elevates your vibrational frequency. Notice how this simple ritual begins to transform your perception, revealing abundance where you once saw scarcity. This ancient practice, handed down through countless generations of mystic seekers and enlightened sages, holds the power to transmute the lead of lack into the gold of abundance. Through consistent appreciation, you align yourself with the natural flow of universal prosperity, opening channels through which divine gifts may freely flow. Like a master alchemist working with the elements of consciousness itself, your gratitude becomes the catalyst that transforms the very essence of your experience, drawing forth treasures both seen and unseen. Chapter 14, The Mirror of Reality. In a bustling marketplace where traders gathered from distant lands, there lived a merchant whose shop held an unusual collection of mirrors. These weren't ordinary-looking glasses, but peculiar artifacts that seemed to warp and twist their reflections in mysterious ways. Each morning, as he arranged his wares, he noticed his reflection appeared increasingly distorted. His prosperous robes appeared tattered, his confident stance seemed bent with worry, and his eyes held shadows of fear. At first, he blamed the mirror's imperfections. Yet as his business began to falter, and his relationships grew strained, he discovered a truth as old as time itself. These mirrors revealed not his physical form, but the state of his inner world. His fear of loss had twisted his reflection, just as it had twisted his decisions. His anxiety about the future had clouded the glass, just as it had clouded his judgment. Through this ancient wisdom, you come to understand that your external reality serves as a mirror, reflecting back the contents of your consciousness. Every circumstance, every relationship, every experience manifests as a reflection of your inner state. Like ripples on a pond, your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions create waves that shape the world around you. In distant lands, two kingdoms stood side by side. The first king ruled with inner peace and wisdom, maintaining harmony within his own heart. His realm flourished. Crops grew abundant, citizens lived in prosperity, and peace prevailed throughout his borders. Each morning he would walk through his gardens, his contentment reflected in the order and beauty that surrounded him. The second king, though equally powerful, harbored fears, suspicion, and anger within his heart. His kingdom began to mirror these internal struggles. Unrest spread through his streets, crops withered in his fields, and discord arose among his advisors. The very walls of his castle seemed to crack under the weight of his inner turmoil. Take your journal now and examine a pattern that repeats in your life. Perhaps it appears in your relationships, your work, or your daily experiences. Write down this pattern in detail, understanding that it reflects something within you. What belief or emotion does this mirror show you? Through this reflection, identify the internal shift needed to transform your external reality. Like the merchant's mirrors, your world reflects your inner truth with unwavering accuracy. By recognizing this principle, you gain the power to reshape your reality by first reshaping your internal landscape. This practice, preserved through ages of wisdom, reveals how the mirror of life responds to the changes you make within. Chapter 15. The Third Key. In the heart of an ancient valley, where mists swirled between towering peaks, lived a dreamer whose nights were filled with visions of extraordinary clarity. Each evening as he closed his eyes, a presence, neither voice nor form, but pure inspiration, would guide him through landscapes of possibility. These weren't mere dreams, but glimpses into the quantum realm where all potential futures exist simultaneously. You possess this same ability to traverse the boundaries between what is and what could be. Your imagination serves as a bridge to the infinite field of possibility, where every dream awaits its manifestation in physical form. When you close your eyes and envision your desires with crystal clarity, you aren't merely daydreaming, you're engaging with the very fabric of creation. Like a master weaver at their loom, your imagination threads together the elements of your future reality. In a distant city, two artists shared a studio. The first artist learned to trust the visions that flowed through his brushstrokes. Each painting began as a clear image in his mind, carefully nurtured until it flowed onto the canvas. As his gallery grew, people whispered that his work seemed to come alive, manifesting the very scenes they depicted in the lives of those who viewed them. The second artist scoffed at such notions. "Paint is paint," he would say, dismissing the subtle promptings of his inner vision. Though technically skilled, his works remained lifeless, mere shadows of what could have been. He failed to understand that imagination is the sacred language through which the universe speaks its possibilities into being. Your imagination holds this same creative power. It is not flight of fancy, but a divine tool given to you as a means of shaping reality itself. Through it, you access the quantum field where all possibilities exist in perfect potential, waiting to be called forth through your focused attention. Now find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your imagination to create a detailed vision of your ideal future. See yourself moving through this reality with perfect clarity. Feel the textures beneath your fingers, hear the sounds that surround you, breathe in the fragrances of your success. Let every sense engage with this vision until it feels more real than your present moment. Commit to spending 5 minutes each day inhabiting this vision. Like the first artist, nurture it with your attention until it begins to materialize in your physical world. Remember, what you imagine with conviction today becomes the reality you experience tomorrow. Chapter 16, The Dance of Universal Rhythms. In the shifting sands of time where ancient wisdom whispers through the dunes, there lived a nomad who discovered the sacred dance of existence. Each morning, as the sun painted the horizon in gold, he would observe the gentle patterns etched in the sand. Nature's own rhythmic signature. You, like this nomad, stand at the threshold of understanding life's natural cadence. The universe moves not in straight lines, but in cycles, like breath, like tides, like the eternal dance of day and night. The nomad learned that when he aligned his movements with the desert's rhythm, the harsh landscape transformed into a nurturing guide. He traveled when the winds were favorable, rested in the embrace of sheltered valleys during storms, and followed the subtle signs that led to hidden oases. Through this acceptance, the desert provided everything he needed, exactly when he needed it. The universal flow carries within it perfect timing. When you resist this flow, you exhaust yourself swimming against the current of divine order. When you surrender to it, you discover the effortless path to manifestation. In a distant harbor, two sailors prepared for their journey across treacherous waters. The first studied the tides, noting their patterns and planning his voyage in harmony with their movement. He understood that the sea's rhythm was not his enemy but his ally. When the tide turned against him, he anchored in safe harbor, using the time to rest and prepare. When it flowed in his favor, his ship glided effortlessly toward its destination. The second sailor, driven by impatience, ignored these natural cycles. "Time waits for no one," he declared, setting sail against the tide. His journey became a constant battle, each mile gained through exhausting effort, his ship battered by waves that seemed to oppose his every move. What could have been a graceful voyage transformed into a grueling ordeal. Just as the tides flow in and out with perfect precision, your life contains its own natural rhythms. There are times for bold action and times for quiet preparation, times to push forward and times to rest in stillness. By observing and honoring these cycles, you align yourself with the universe's natural flow. Practice. Take a moment now to reflect on one area of your life where you feel resistance. Perhaps you're forcing an outcome, struggling against timing, or refusing to accept a necessary pause. Write this situation in your journal. Then close your eyes and imagine releasing your grip on control. Feel how this surrender creates space for natural rhythm to guide you. For the next 7 days, practice flowing with this situation rather than fighting it. Notice how your experience transforms when you dance with life's natural tide rather than against it. Chapter 17, The Fourth Key. In a monastery among mist-shrouded peaks, a wise monk sat with his student beneath an ancient tree. As leaves drifted lazily to the ground, the monk held up a single leaf, studying its intricate patterns with complete absorption. "Watch," he instructed his student, who fidgeted restlessly, mind already racing to the evening's duties and tomorrow's lessons. The monk's unwavering attention transformed the simple leaf into a universe of revelation. Each vein told a story, each color shift spoke of life's transitions, each imperfection carried beauty. Through his complete presence, the ordinary became extraordinary. You possess this same power of presence, the ability to step fully into the eternal now where all possibilities exist. When your awareness rests completely in the present moment, the metaphysical code reveals itself with crystal clarity. Past regrets and future anxieties dissolve, leaving only the pure potential of now. In the marketplace square, 2 weavers worked side by side at their looms. The first approached her craft with total presence, feeling each thread pass through her fingers, hearing the rhythmic click of the shuttle, seeing how each color complemented the next. Her complete absorption in the present moment guided her hands with flawless precision. The tapestries she created seemed to pulse with living energy, each one a masterpiece that spoke to the soul. The second weaver's mind constantly wandered, to her arguments from yesterday, to her worries about tomorrow's sales, to the gossip she heard at the well. Her distracted state manifested in loose threads, misaligned patterns, and dull, lifeless pieces that soon began to unravel. The universe speaks most clearly in the present moment. When your attention scatters to past or future, you miss the subtle guidance offered in the now. Like a radio tuned between stations, a distracted mind receives only static where wisdom waits to be heard. Choose one daily activity, perhaps eating breakfast, walking to work, or washing dishes, and transform it into a meditation on presence. For the duration of this activity, bring your full attention to the present moment, treating each second as sacred. Notice the sensations that arise. The temperature of the water on your hands, the rhythm of your footsteps, the subtle flavors dancing on your tongue. When your mind inevitably wanders to past regrets or future anxieties, gently guide it back to now, like a parent lovingly redirecting a child. Make no judgment about these wanderings, for they are natural, but simply return to the pure awareness of the present. Observe how this complete presence transforms even the simplest action into a gateway for deeper understanding, revealing the profound wisdom that exists in life's ordinary moments. Through this practice, you begin to recognize that every experience, no matter how mundane, can become a doorway to universal truth. Chapter 18, The Alchemy of Fear. In the depths of an ancient forest where shadows danced between twisted branches, a noble knight found himself lost in darkness. His armor, once gleaming with pride, now felt heavy with the weight of his fears. Each rustle of leaves and distant cry echoed through his mind, amplifying his growing terror. As night descended, a faint light caught his eye. Following it, he discovered a humble dwelling where a hermit tended a small flame. The old man's eyes held wisdom earned through countless seasons of solitude. Your fear dims your inner light, the hermit spoke softly. Yet within that very fear lies the seed of your liberation. Through the long night, the hermit taught the night to see fear not as an enemy to vanquish, but as raw energy awaiting transformation. Like ice melting into flowing water, fear could be transmuted into courage, wisdom, and strength. You stand now at the threshold of understanding one of life's most powerful truths. Fear exists not to limit you, but to guide you toward growth. Within each fearful thought lies a hidden message from the universe pointing toward the very experiences your soul seeks for expansion. The energy of fear serves as a compass, revealing the edge of your comfort zone where the greatest potential for transformation awaits. When you learn to harness this energy rather than resist it, fear becomes the fuel for extraordinary growth. Two travelers once stood before a great mountain pass. The first, overcome by fear of the treacherous path ahead, turned back to the safety of familiar valleys. The second felt the same fear coursing through his body but recognized it as energy preparing him for the journey. With each step forward, his fear transformed into excitement, then determination, and finally triumph as he crested the peak to discover vistas beyond imagination. Your fears speak in whispers of possibility. Behind every fear of failure lies the potential for success. Within every fear of rejection lives the opportunity for deeper connection. Each fear of the unknown masks an invitation to discover new aspects of your infinite potential. Take a moment now to sit in quiet reflection. On a blank page, write down one fear currently present in your life. Examine this fear not as an adversary, but as a messenger. What opportunity for growth does it illuminate? What strength might it be calling forth from within you? Beneath your written fear, inscribe one concrete step you can take to move toward, rather than away from this growth opportunity. This single step, however small it may seem, begins the alchemical process of transforming fear into forward motion. As you take this step, remember, the universe never presents you with a fear you cannot transmute into greater understanding. Your fears are not walls, but doorways waiting to be opened. Chapter 19. The Rituals of Inspired Action. In a sunlit workshop among ancient olive groves, an artisan sat before her unfinished masterpiece. Her hands, though skilled, hesitated as she contemplated each stroke. Her master, watching from the shadows, stepped forward with quiet wisdom. "Your hands know the way," he said, "even when your mind doubts. The universe speaks through your intuition, guiding each movement." The master demonstrated by closing his eyes and allowing his hands to dance across a block of wood. Without conscious thought, without forced precision, a beautiful form emerged beneath his touch. "When you align with the cosmic flow," he explained, "creation becomes not a struggle, but a dance." You possess this same innate connection to universal wisdom. Your intuition serves as a bridge between the spiritual and material realms, translating divine inspiration into physical form. When you act from this aligned state, manifestation flows with natural grace and ease. Consider the difference between forced effort and inspired action. Forced effort stems from ego and fear, pushing against the natural flow. Inspired action arises from inner knowing, moving in harmony with universal currents. In a distant valley, two builders worked on similar projects. The first toiled mechanically, following plans with rigid precision, his movements heavy with obligation. His work, though technically sound, lacked the spark of life. The second builder approached each task with passionate presence, allowing inspiration to guide his hands. His creation seemed to emerge organically, As if the materials themselves yearn to take form under his touch, the universe speaks constantly through your intuitive promptings. These subtle nudges, when heeded, guide you toward aligned action that manifests your desires with surprising ease. Yet how often do you dismiss these whispers, choosing instead the familiar path of forced effort? Now is the moment to bridge the gap between spiritual insight and physical action. Take a quiet moment to reflect. What intuitive nudge have you been ignoring? Perhaps it's a project calling for your attention, a conversation waiting to happen, or a creative impulse seeking expression. Write down this intuitive prompting, then commit to one concrete action, however small, that honors this inner guidance. Your action need not be grand. Even the smallest step taken in alignment with your intuition sets powerful forces in motion. Remember, true creation flows not from struggle, but from surrender to the wisdom already within you. Chapter 20. The Bridge of Faith. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom, a tale speaks of a traveler journeying through treacherous mountains. As night fell, a violent storm obscured his path, leaving him stranded at the edge of a great chasm. Thunder crashed and lightning illuminated the depths below, yet something whispered in his heart, a knowing that transcended his mortal fears. Before him stretched an ancient bridge, its form barely visible through the tempest. Logic warned of danger, yet deep within, he felt the universe's gentle assurance. With each step forward, though his eyes could scarcely see the path, his feet found solid ground. This truth echoes through the ages. Faith serves as the invisible bridge between where you stand and where your dreams await. When you trust in the universe's wisdom, what seems impossible becomes your path forward. Your desires exist in the realm of infinite possibility, separated from your current reality by the chasm of doubt. Faith becomes the bridge that carries you across this divide, transforming ethereal dreams into tangible manifestations. High in the mountain peaks, two climbers sought the summit by different paths. The first climber, though faced with uncertain terrain, moved with unwavering trust. Each handhold appeared precisely when needed. Each ledge offered rest at the perfect moment. His faith in the path kept his movements fluid and sure. The second climber carried doubt as his companion. Though equally skilled, he questioned each step, second-guessed each decision. His hesitation created the very dangers he feared, turning simple passages into precarious challenges. While his companion reached the summit, guided by inner knowing, he remained trapped in the labyrinth of his uncertainties. Your journey mirrors these climbers. When you trust in the universe's guidance, your path unfolds with natural grace. Yet when doubt clouds your vision, even the surest footing feels unstable. The practice of faith requires daily nurturing. Take up your pen and write a letter to the universe. Pour your trust onto the page, releasing your fears into the infinite wisdom that guides all things. Let your words bridge the gap between doubt and certainty, between the visible and invisible realms. Begin. Dear universe, I trust in your perfect timing and infinite wisdom. Today, I release my fears about. Continue writing until you feel a shift in your energy, a lightening of your spirit. Make this practice your daily ritual, strengthening your faith with each letter written. Through this practice, you build the invisible bridge that carries you from where you are to where you're meant to be. Your trust becomes the foundation upon which miracles manifest. Part 3, Becoming the Keeper of the Code. Chapter 21, The Fifth Key. In the ancient valleys where wisdom whispers on the wind, there lived a wanderer who walked between worlds. Each morning as dawn painted the sky in gentle hues, he would pause and listen, not with his ears, but with the sacred chamber of his heart. One day, as he traversed an ordinary path he had walked countless times before, something stirred within him. A gentle pull, like silk threads woven through his consciousness, beckoned him to turn aside from his familiar route. Though his eyes saw only dense forest, his heart perceived a luminous doorway. Following this divine nudge, he discovered a sanctuary hidden from mortal sight, a place where the veil between worlds grew thin. Here, surrounded by the unseen yet deeply felt presence of ancient wisdom, he understood that true sight comes not from the eyes but from the soul's knowing. The divine compass of intuition speaks in whispers and gentle urgings. It guides you toward pathways invisible to ordinary perception, leading you to treasures that transcend material wealth. When you attune to this sacred voice within, you unlock the gateway to higher wisdom. In a distant village lived a young woman blessed with the gift of healing. Yet in her early days, she relied solely on what others had taught her, following prescribed methods without deviation. Her results, though adequate, never reached the depths of transformation she sensed were possible. One night, as she tended to a gravely ill child, something shifted. Rather than following the traditional remedies, she felt drawn to place her hands in different positions than she had been taught. A warm current of energy flowed through her, and she knew with certainty this was right. The child's fever broke within moments. From that day forward, she learned to trust the subtle guidance that flowed through her. Her healing touch grew more powerful, guided not by external knowledge, but by the wisdom that spoke through her heart. Those who came to her spoke not only of physical healing, but of spiritual awakening. To access your own divine intuition, create a sacred moment of stillness each day. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring forth a single question that seeks guidance. Let your breath become soft and regular, like gentle waves upon a shore. Release all expectations and simply listen with your whole being. The answer may come as a feeling, an image, or a knowing that transcends words. Trust what arises in this sacred space. This practice, performed faithfully each day, strengthens the bridge between your conscious mind and the infinite wisdom that flows through you. Your intuition becomes clearer, more trustworthy, as you learn to distinguish its pure voice from the chatter of the mind. Chapter 22: The Web of Interconnection. In the depths of an ancient forest where morning mist weaves through towering trees, a spider begins its daily work. With each careful movement, it spins strands of silk so fine they catch the first light of dawn. The spider moves with certainty, guided by an instinct older than time itself, unaware that its modest web mirrors the vast tapestry of existence. You see, the spider's web represents more than mere survival. It reveals the fundamental truth of interconnection that binds all of creation. Each gossamer thread joins with others, creating a network of extraordinary strength and beauty. Just as the spider's web trembles at the lightest touch, so too does every thought you hold, every word you speak, and every action you take send ripples through the fabric of reality. The universe operates as one living, breathing organism. Your joys, struggles, and aspirations weave into the greater pattern of life. When you recognize this truth, you understand that personal success and collective well-being are inseparable. The law of attraction responds most powerfully when your intentions align with the highest good of all. In a valley between two mountains stood two villages. The first, Harmony Vale, embraced the wisdom of unity. Its inhabitants shared their harvests, supported each other's endeavors, and celebrated collective achievements. Their combined energy created a magnetic force that attracted abundance in all forms. Crops grew in abundance, creativity flourished, and joy permeated their days. Across the river lay Solitude Ridge, where each family sought only their own prosperity. They built high walls, hoarded resources, and viewed neighbors with suspicion. Though some individuals accumulated wealth, the community withered. Gardens produced meager yields, illness spread easily, and a heavy atmosphere of scarcity hung over their homes. The truth revealed through these villages echoes through time. When you recognize your place in the great web of life, your manifestations gain the power of the collective. Every kind thought strengthens the fabric of reality. Every compassionate deed creates waves of positive energy that return to you multiplied. To embody this wisdom, choose one small act of service today. It need not be grand. Perhaps sharing a genuine smile, offering words of encouragement, or helping a stranger with a simple task. As you perform this act, feel your connection to the infinite web of life. Notice how your kindness creates a subtle shift in energy, not just for the recipient, but within yourself and the greater whole. This practice awakens you to the profound truth that in serving others, you serve yourself, for there is no separation in the eyes of the universe. Through this understanding, you align with the natural flow of abundance that sustains all life. Chapter 23. The Frequency of Love. In a secluded valley where mountains touched the sky, lived a gardener whose plants thrived beyond natural measure. Travelers journeyed from distant lands to witness his garden's splendor, marveling at flowers that bloomed out of season and fruits that grew with unprecedented abundance. Many sought his methods, examining his soil and studying his techniques, yet none could replicate his results. For the true secret lay not in earthly tools, but in the gardener's heart. With each seed he planted, he poured forth pure love. Every morning he greeted his garden as one would greet a beloved friend. His gentle hands tended each plant with devotion, his heart overflowing with unconditional care. Love, you see, resonates at the highest frequency in the universe. It transforms everything it touches, awakening the life force that flows through all creation. When you approach life with love, you align with the supreme creative power that shapes worlds and moves mountains. This truth manifested clearly in the tale of two kingdoms. In the first, a ruler governed through fear, his harsh decrees casting shadows across the land. His people lived in anxiety, productivity waned, and the kingdom's very foundations began to crumble. Then, through a profound awakening, he discovered the power of love. As he shifted his approach, ruling with compassion and understanding, an extraordinary transformation took place. The atmosphere of fear dissolved like morning mist before the sun. His people's hearts opened, creativity flourished, and the kingdom entered a golden age of prosperity and peace. Through love, he had tapped into the universe's most potent force for manifestation and change. Now sit quietly and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and center your awareness in your heart. Feel it beginning to glow with warm golden light, the light of pure, unconditional love. Let this radiance grow stronger with each breath, filling your entire being. Visualize this love expanding outward, touching first those closest to you, then spreading further to encompass your community, and finally embracing all of existence. Notice how this practice shifts your energy and opens new channels for abundance to flow into your life. Remember, love is not merely an emotion, but a state of being that aligns you with the highest vibrations of the universe. When you choose to live and create from this space, you unlock the deepest mysteries of manifestation. Chapter 24. The Creator Within. In the heart of an ancient quarry where marble gleamed like moonlight on water, a sculptor stood before an untouched block of stone. His mentor, a master of the craft, had shared a truth that would transform not just his art, but his understanding of existence itself. The masterpiece, the mentor had whispered, already dwells within the stone. Your task is not to create, but to reveal what has always been there. You, like this sculptor, stand before the raw material of your life. Within the seemingly solid block of your current circumstances lies every possibility you can envision. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions serve as the chisel, gradually revealing the masterpiece of your desired reality. The universe operates through you, not upon you. You are not a passive recipient of circumstances, but the active creator of your experience. Just as the sculptor sees the finished form within the stone, you must recognize that your desired reality already exists in potential, waiting for your conscious awareness to bring it forth. This truth becomes clearer through the tale of two dreamers. The first, understanding his role as creator, acted upon his vision with unwavering certainty. Each step he took aligned with the reality he knew existed within his consciousness. Like a sculptor confidently removing what was unnecessary, he shaped his circumstances through deliberate choice and action. The second dreamer possessed equally beautiful visions but remained passive, waiting for external forces to manifest his desires. He spoke of his dreams but never stepped into his power as their creator. His masterpiece remained forever trapped within the stone of possibility, never breaking free into form. The difference between these two paths lies not in the dreams themselves, but in the dreamer's relationship to their creative power. One embraced his role as creator, understanding that manifestation requires both vision and conscious participation. The other remained a spectator in his own life, hoping that someone or something else would bring his dreams to life. Now take your journal and write a declaration of your creative power. Begin with these words: I am the conscious creator of my reality. Let your declaration acknowledge both the responsibility and the boundless potential this role carries. Write of your commitment to step fully into this power, to wield your creative force with purpose and awareness. Each morning, stand before the mirror and speak your declaration aloud. Feel the truth of these words resonating through your being. Like the sculptor who sees the masterpiece within the stone, recognize that you hold the power to reveal the magnificent reality waiting within your current circumstances. This practice will serve as your daily reminder that you are not merely a character in life's story. You are its author, its sculptor, its creator. Chapter 25. The Paradox of Effortless Creation. In a valley where ancient wisdom whispers through rustling leaves, a weary traveler paused beside a flowing river. Exhausted from fighting his way through dense forests and scaling treacherous cliffs, he watched as the water moved with effortless grace toward its destination. The river neither pushed nor strained. It simply flowed around obstacles, finding natural pathways through the landscape. When boulders blocked its course, it didn't waste energy trying to move them. It discovered new channels, carving paths of least resistance. You possess this same innate wisdom. The universe operates not through force, but through natural alignment. When you struggle against its flow, you exhaust your energy and dim your creative power. Yet when you align with its currents, manifestation unfolds with surprising ease. Consider the tale of two blacksmiths in a mountain village. The first worked from dawn until dusk, hammering metal with ceaseless determination. His tools grew dull from overuse, his arms ached from constant strain, and his creations, though numerous, lacked the refined beauty he sought. The second blacksmith worked differently. He understood the rhythm of metal and fire, knowing when to strike and when to rest. His tools remained sharp, his energy sustained, and his creations possessed an elegance that spoke of mastery. The metal, he would say, knows its proper form. My task is to guide it there, not force it. This wisdom applies to every aspect of your existence. When you align your actions with the natural flow of universal energy, you accomplish more with less effort. Struggle signals misalignment, a sign to pause, reassess, and find the path of harmony. The law of effortless manifestation requires trust in divine timing and natural processes. Like the river that knows its destination lies in the sea, you must trust that your desires will manifest through aligned action rather than forced will. When you release the need to control every detail, you open yourself to the infinite wisdom of universal flow. Just as water shapes stone not through brute force, but through patient persistence, your path to manifestation unfolds most powerfully when you harmonize with the natural rhythms of creation. Trust that the universe knows the perfect timing and means to bring your desires into form. Take a moment now to reflect on where you might be pushing too hard in your life. Write down one area where struggle has become your constant companion. Next, ask yourself, what would this look like if it were easy? Allow the answer to emerge naturally without force. Choose one action that feels aligned with this easier path. Perhaps it means taking a pause, adjusting your timeline, or approaching your goal from a different angle. Commit to this aligned action, trusting that, like the river, you will reach your destination through flow rather than force. Remember, the universe responds not to the intensity of your struggle, but to the alignment of your energy. Release the need to force outcomes and discover the power of effortless creation. Chapter 26, the sixth key. In a grand concert hall where ancient melodies lingered in the air, a master musician gathered his orchestra. Each player held an instrument of exquisite quality, yet their initial performance created discord rather than harmony. The conductor, wise in the ways of universal balance, shared a truth that echoes through the ages. You hold not just instruments, he explained, but voices of the cosmic symphony. When one voice drowns out the others, the music loses its magic. True power lies not in dominance, but in harmonious balance. The universal law of harmony teaches that all aspects of life seek equilibrium. Like the instruments in an orchestra, your thoughts, emotions, and actions must work in concert. When one element overpowers the others, the symphony of your existence falls into discord. Picture a skilled juggler named Wei, who maintained perfect balance as he kept multiple spheres in motion. Each sphere represented an aspect of life: work, relationships, health, spiritual growth. Wei understood that focusing too much on any single sphere would cause the others to fall. His movements flowed with natural grace, each sphere receiving exactly the attention it needed. In contrast, another juggler named Chen became fixated on catching the golden sphere of wealth. As his attention narrowed to this single pursuit, the other spheres began to drop. His relationships suffered, his health declined, and his inner peace vanished. Only when he lost everything did Chen realize that true prosperity comes from maintaining balance in all areas. Your life mirrors this eternal principle, passed down through generations of seekers and sages. When you nurture all aspects of your being, body, mind, and spirit, you create a stable foundation for manifesting your desires. Like the conductor who knows exactly when each instrument should rise or soften, you must learn to orchestrate the various elements of your existence. This delicate harmony requires wisdom and patience, for each aspect of life demands its own unique rhythm and attention. Just as a master musician understands that every note serves a purpose in the grand symphony, You too must recognize that each element of your journey contributes to the magnificent whole of your experience. Find a quiet moment to assess your life's symphony. On a piece of parchment, draw 3 circles representing your physical, emotional, and mental realms. Within each circle, rate your current state of balance from 1 to 10. For areas scoring below 7, write 1 harmonizing action you can take. Perhaps your body craves more rest, your emotions seek expression, or your mind needs peaceful contemplation. Choose 3 small actions, 1 for each realm, to restore balance. Like the conductor raising his baton with purposeful intent, commit to these actions with the knowledge that balance creates the conditions for manifestation to flourish. Begin this practice now, understanding that harmony is not a destination, but a continuous dance with the universe's natural rhythms. Chapter 27, Breaking the Chains of Limitation. In a distant kingdom, a prisoner sat in a cell with no bars, no walls, and no chains visible to the eye. Yet he remained motionless, convinced of his captivity. Each day he watched others walk freely past him, never attempting to rise from his spot. You, like this prisoner, may find yourself bound by constraints that exist solely in your mind. These invisible chains, woven from threads of doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs, feel as real as iron shackles, yet they dissolve the moment you recognize their true nature. The universal truth speaks thus: your perceived limitations are but shadows cast by thoughts that have taken root in fertile soil. Like seeds planted in darkness, these thoughts grow into barriers that appear insurmountable. Yet just as the prisoner eventually discovered, the key to freedom rested in his own palm all along. Within your being lies unlimited potential, waiting to break free from self-imposed constraints. Each time you whisper, "I cannot," "I am not worthy," or "this is impossible," you forge another link in these ethereal chains. The power to shatter them emerges when you recognize that you are both the prisoner and the keeper of the key. High in the mountains lived a young bird who believed flight impossible. Each morning it watched others soar through vast skies, telling itself, "Their wings are stronger, their hearts braver." Days passed as it remained perched on its branch, imprisoned by fear. One dawn, as wind rustled through leaves, the bird felt a stirring in its heart. Without thought, it spread its wings and leaped, not because it suddenly believed flight possible, but because the yearning to try finally outweighed the fear of falling. In that moment of surrender to inner wisdom, the bird discovered its true nature. These ancient teachings reveal that your limitations exist only until challenged. Like the bird, you need not wait for certainty before taking flight. The very act of stretching beyond perceived boundaries dissolves their power over you. Take now your journal and inscribe upon its pages 1 limitation that holds you in its grasp. Perhaps it whispers that you lack the skills, resources, or courage to pursue your dreams. Beneath this perceived barrier, write 3 specific actions that challenge its authority over your life. These need not be grand gestures. Even small steps taken with conviction begin to weaken the chains of self-doubt. In the coming week, commit to implementing these actions, however modest they may seem. Remember, just as the bird discovered its wings through the act of spreading them, you too will uncover your power through the courage to act despite uncertainty. Practice. Take your journal and write, "I release myself from the limitation of." Complete this statement, then list 3 actionable steps you will take this week to challenge this constraint. Each morning, read these steps aloud, infusing them with the power of your voice and intention. Chapter 28, The Unity of Duality. In a mountain village where ancient wisdom whispers through towering pines, 2 neighbors waged a bitter feud. Each claimed the other cast darkness upon their life. Blind to the truth that light and shadow, dance as eternal partners in the cosmic dance. A sage, observing their strife, gathered them beneath the fading sun as the moon began its ascent. "Behold," he spoke, gesturing to the sky. "The sun blazes with fierce light, while the moon reflects with gentle radiance. Neither diminishes the other. Together they illuminate the path of all beings." The universal truth reveals itself thus. Within every aspect of existence lies its opposite, not as an enemy to vanquish, but as a complement to embrace. Like day and night, each quality you possess contains its counterforce waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. When you resist one half of any duality, you create discord within your being. Success holds hands with failure, joy dances with sorrow, and strength emerges from weakness. These are not battles to be won, but harmonies to be understood. In a distant temple, two seekers pursued enlightenment. The first welcomed both the ecstasy of insight and the pain of growth, understanding that wisdom bloomed from both experiences. The second sought only pleasant revelations, rejecting all that brought discomfort. Years passed, and while the first seeker's understanding deepened like a river carved through stone, the second remained shallow as a puddle, afraid to explore the depths where shadows dwelled. Your journey through life presents countless dualities, moments of triumph and defeat, periods of abundance and scarcity, seasons of connection and solitude. Each apparent opposite offers a gateway to deeper understanding when you cease struggling against its existence. Like the eternal dance of day and night, these seeming contradictions weave together to create the rich tapestry of your existence. When you embrace both the light and shadow aspects of your path, you discover that what appeared as obstacles were actually stepping stones guiding you toward greater wisdom. The ancient masters understood this profound truth. It is not in resisting life's dualities, but in accepting their sacred interplay that true transformation begins. Find a quiet space and open your journal. Write about an area of your life where you perceive opposing forces at work. Perhaps it manifests as simultaneous challenges and blessings in your career, relationships, or personal growth. Explore how these seeming contradictions actually support and balance each other. What lessons or growth emerge from embracing both aspects? Record your insights, allowing yourself to see how these dualities weave together to create the complete tapestry of your experience. Chapter 29. Manifesting for the Greater Good. In a valley blessed by healing springs, there lived a gifted healer whose hands held the power to ease suffering. Though her abilities brought relief to many, she noticed that some ailments returned, like shadows creeping back at sunset. Night after night she meditated beneath the stars, seeking deeper understanding of her gift. One evening, as she tended to a child's fever, wisdom dawned within her heart. Rather than focusing solely on the individual before her, she expanded her intention to encompass the well-being of the entire village. As she did so, her healing touch grew stronger, reaching beyond the immediate ailment to address its root causes that affected the whole community. When you align your intentions with the greater good, you tap into the infinite power of universal harmony. Like a stone cast into still waters, actions born from love and service create ripples that touch countless shores. Your personal power multiplies when it flows in harmony with the collective well-being. In a distant marketplace, two merchants pursued prosperity through different paths. The first shared his knowledge freely, teaching others the art of trade. He offered fair prices and invested in the community's growth. With each passing season, his wealth grew alongside the prosperity of those around him. The second merchant guarded his secrets jealously, raising prices during times of need and hoarding his gains. Though his coffers filled, The weight of gold became a burden that isolated him from the community's heart. As the years passed, the first merchant's business flourished within a thriving marketplace, while the second found himself trading in an empty square, surrounded by the hollow echo of his coins. This truth remains eternal. When your desires align with the highest good of all, the universe conspires to multiply their impact far beyond what you might imagine. Like a garden where all plants receive sunlight and water, sharing their nutrients through an intricate web of roots beneath the soil, collective prosperity creates sustainable abundance that nourishes every soul. The energy you put forth returns multiplied, for in the divine economy of spirit, what benefits one ultimately uplifts all. Just as a single candle can light countless others without dimming its own flame, your success, when aligned with universal good, becomes a beacon that brightens the path for many. Take a moment now to sit in quiet reflection. Allow your mind to drift toward an intention you hold dear. See how this desire might expand to benefit not only your own path, but also the lives of others. Perhaps a business venture could create opportunities for many, or a personal healing journey might inspire others toward wholeness. Write this expanded intention in your journal, then identify one action you can take today that serves both your growth and the greater good. Let this step be your offering to the universal flow of abundance. Chapter 30. The Final Seal of the Code. Upon the highest peak of an ancient mountain, a pilgrim reached the final steps of their sacred quest. For years, they had searched distant lands for the ultimate secret of the Metaphysical Code, believing it lay hidden in some forgotten temple or sacred scroll. Yet as they stood at the journey's pinnacle, gazing across the vast expanse below, understanding dawned like the first rays of morning light. You now stand where this pilgrim once stood, at the threshold of profound realization. The truth you seek is not carved in stone or sealed within golden vessels. It lives within the very essence of who you have become. Through each step of your journey, every challenge faced and wisdom gained has transformed you into a living embodiment of the code itself. The greatest masters of old knew this truth. The final key lies not in acquiring more knowledge, but in becoming the living expression of what you have learned. As your thoughts align with universal law, as your emotions resonate with higher frequencies, as your actions flow from divine inspiration, you yourself become the code made manifest. In a distant realm, a phoenix approached the end of its cycle. Instead of fearing the flames of transformation, it spread its wings and embraced the sacred fire. From what appeared to be an ending emerged a magnificent beginning. The bird arose renewed, its feathers gleaming with an inner light that outshone its former glory. Like this eternal creature, you too are called to embrace continuous renewal, allowing each completion to seed the next awakening. The code is not a destination but a living practice, a moment-by-moment choice to align with universal truth. Each breath offers an opportunity to embody these principles anew. Each challenge invites deeper integration of this timeless wisdom. Like a garden that must be tended daily, your connection to these sacred laws requires constant nurturing and renewal. Through patient dedication, you cultivate an ever-deepening resonance with the divine frequencies that shape reality itself. What begins as conscious effort gradually becomes your natural state of being, until living in harmony with universal law feels as natural as drawing breath. Choose a time and place that feels sacred to you. Light a candle or create a simple altar with symbols that represent your journey. Standing or sitting in quiet reverence, speak these words or create your own. I stand as a keeper of the eternal code, embodying its wisdom in thought, word, and deed. With each breath, I renew my commitment to live in harmony with universal law. Through me, these sacred principles flow into the world, bringing light where there is darkness, truth where there is confusion, love where there is fear. So it is, and so it shall be. Perform this ritual daily, or whenever you feel called to reaffirm your role as a keeper of the code. Conclusion. As you stand at this sacred threshold, recognize that what appears to be an ending marks a magnificent beginning. The metaphysical code now flows through your being, its wisdom integrated into the fabric of your consciousness. Yet this integration brings with it a profound responsibility to shine as a living example of these universal truths. Like ripples expanding across still waters, your transformed presence touches countless lives. When you speak, the ancient wisdom resonates in your words. When you act, universal law expresses itself through your movements. When you create, divine inspiration flows unimpeded through your being. The universe has gifted you these sacred teachings not merely for personal transformation, but as a torch to illuminate the path for others. As you walk through the world, those ready to awaken will naturally be drawn to the light you carry. Without needing to preach or convince, your aligned presence serves as a silent invitation to higher possibilities. Remember that mastery is an eternal dance. There are always deeper layers of understanding to explore, higher frequencies to embody, greater expressions of potential to manifest. Each day brings fresh opportunities to apply these principles in new ways, to discover nuances previously unseen, to demonstrate the code's practical power in an ever-changing world. You have become a living bridge between the seen and unseen realms, capable of translating ethereal wisdom into tangible reality. Through your example, others glimpse the possibility of their own transformation. Through your creations, universal truth takes form in ways that touch hearts and awaken minds. The universe itself remains your constant companion on this continuing journey, speaking through synchronicities, supporting through divine timing, guiding through intuitive knowing. As you stay attuned to its subtle language, you find yourself moving in perfect harmony with the grand cosmic dance. Let your light shine not from a place of ego, but from the pure joy of allowing universal love to flow through you into a world hungry for authentic wisdom. Your presence becomes a reminder that transformation is possible, that ancient truths still live, that the power to create reality lies within each heart that dares to align with universal law. The code is now yours to express in countless unique ways, each perfectly suited to touch those ready to receive its gifts. Trust that as you continue to embody these principles, the right opportunities to share this wisdom will naturally arise. The universe orchestrates each encounter with divine precision, bringing you together with those whose awakening you are meant to inspire. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.